play on the classic multiplication of integers 1 to 12. Your classic times tables. That's me, and I'll play on spicy. Hopefully I don't get embarrassed. So what you've got here is you've got the hive that has all the products, because we're doing multiplication, all the products that can be made using 1 to 12. Now, to claim one of these cells in my colour, I must change one of these factors down the bottom, only one, and that's where the strategy comes in. So if I want this centre cell just here, I need to change one of the factors down the bottom to get that 2. So 1 times 2 makes 2. Now it's the bot's turn. Now the aim of the game is to get 4 in a straight line, so it can be horizontal or diagonal. So there's attacking and there's defending. So right now, straight away, I'm looking around to see if any of these are divisible by 1 or 6. I think I'll take that 8. Let's see where he goes. Okay, he's blocked me on that end. Let's fast forward a little bit and see what happens to this game. And I'm on the back foot, I'm not doing so well. He's got an open-ended triple just here, so he can win with 35 or 56. So immediately I think to myself, can I block by taking that 56 or 35? And I think, yes, 7 times 8 gets 56. However, I have to be really careful. I don't want to leave a 7 available because then he can win on the other end with 7 times 5. So you're thinking through multiples and factors, you're thinking through divisibility laws, you're actually thinking in inverse as well. So 35 divided by 7, that works. So students are doing thousands of questions, but it's that rich strategic reasoning. Now the original Number Hive game has always been deeply engaging and had a profound impact. But it's now been turned into a complete fluency platform across all 4 operations, with assessment, progress tracking, all embedded into engaging learning journeys. But we know that for an EdTech product to be successful, it needs to be more than just educationally excellent. It actually has to help teachers. Now we know education, and we know that education technology must be simple and seamless. It must be straightforward to integrate, it must be effective, and it must be flexible. Let me show you how quick and easy it is to integrate Number Hive into your classroom. All right, so here's the landing page. You can either put your details in here if you've already got them, or let's sign up as a teacher today. So just put your details in here and then click sign up. You'll get an email confirmation, so just go and find that. Could be in junk, click that and you're away. You'll then be taken to this page, which is where you can choose your subscription. You can pay per month or per year. If you want a school hive, hit this contact us button or email direct. For the demo, I'll just grab a class hive. That gets me access and 40 students. Put in the hive name, put in your details, and then hit subscribe. It'll then bring us straight back to the My Hives page. You see I've got a few here. Your new class hive will be in there. You can click on that. Obviously it's empty just now. The important bit here is the hive code. What I normally do is I put this up on the whiteboard or on the Google Classroom. Students will need this to get into the hive. For them, it's even faster. Let me show you. So students just head back to that landing page, sign up, hit student. Doesn't need to be their proper first name and last name, just some initials so that you can identify them in the class and then a unique username. That hive key I just showed you, they put this in here, sign up, and they're in. Once a student's in, it'll look like this. They can go to their learning journeys. They go and take a look at the hives they're part of if they like. This is great because they can actually invite a hive mate to a game. They can also see their achievements in the Nectar Nook. Hive Gym, so they can work out on their own. They can play Number Hive here against a friend or a bot. They can also go and do buzz practice. Also, they've got their gym stats they can take a look at here. You can see more details in the other videos. If we head back to the admin dashboard, you can go into My Hives. You can click on that class and see the student. Let's take a look at this one, for example. You can see the students in here. It's got their username and their password just in case, and some at a glance details. You can get detailed reports, like so. You can go and watch the enhanced reporting video for more details on that. The other functionality inside of your class hive is that you can personalize the learning for each student or for the whole class. So if you go to settings here, where you can allocate different boards to students, the whole class, or individual students. So that's really helpful. For example, I might just want Josh to have access to addition. There are so many different ways you can use Number Hive. Many teachers use it as a daily warm-up or an independent station, or some as a full class challenge. Number Hive fits any classroom. Countless teachers share how Number Hive is filling numeracy gaps in older students that never gain true fluency the first time around. Whatever the case, Number Hive is enhancing fluency, reasoning, and mathematical mindset for every learner. Make sure you go and visit the Number Hive website at numberhive.app. On here we have all the updates, we have plans and pricings, and you'll see that we have flexible offers for everyone's needs. We have a heap of resources. We have a blog with educational material. We also have our printable game boards, which teachers love. Students and admin alike can sign in from here as well. You'll also find a heap of helpful videos on here. If you have some feedback or something to contribute, please reach out. We're on the endless pursuit of helping all students achieve flexible fluency.
Because fluency should be feared, it should be celebrated. With Number Hive, students don't just learn facts, they discover patterns. They don't just play games, they build that understanding. They don't just do maths, they become mathematicians.
Hi everyone, welcome this evening. Thank you so much for taking out your precious personal time. I know it must have been a very long day at school, as well as in the evening you're joining in for maths, which is always fun, especially for teachers, school leaders, as well as some of our education consultants and resellers who have joined in today. First of all, I am Dheeraj Trakru. I am the founding director of India Market Entry and Knotral Training. Today's session is about mathematics, and especially about this fun strategic game that is Number Hive. And today's special guest, and we have all the way joining in from Australia. It's very late evening there, guys, remember. And we've got Chris Hogbin, the co-founder and the CEO of Number Hive. Welcome, Chris, to the session. We'll be...
Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
Perfect. And we'll be shortly hearing from Chris as well, and he'll be sharing the game and he'll be showcasing us the game itself. So today's session is structured in three essential parts. Part one, where we will do a quick introduction about Number Hive. Part two, where Chris will show us the game itself, where we will also get a chance to play along with Chris. And finally, a part where we would have Q&A session, where we would discuss together any questions that you might have. We'll be happy to answer. But I would encourage all of you to put in questions whenever they pop up in the chat. We have our team as well present in this session, who will be very happy to answer any questions that they can. If not, we will take those questions toward the end of the session, and we'll definitely answer each one of those. So without further ado, let me begin with the short presentation that I have prepared today for the session. All right, let me share my screen. Here we go. All right. Right. So, I mean, before we actually get into the presentation itself, how many of you have ever heard a student, or perhaps even said it yourself, that I'm not a maths person? It's probably one of the most common limiting beliefs in education, and today we are going to challenge that belief head on. What if I told you that there is a platform or a game that transforms the way students experience maths? Not through more worksheets, but through speed drills. Not through speed drills, but through strategy, right? So no worksheets, no speed drills, only purely strategy, like playing a game of chess, but with actual numbers. That's exactly what Number Hive does. And Over the next 45 minutes or so, you are going to see the first-hand experience how Indian schools can actually move beyond memorization, build real mathematical thinking in their classrooms. But first, let's understand who's in the room. All right. So quick question there, a quick poll there for us to understand better who you are in general, right? So question, what describes you best as, right? So can you please answer that question? I would request all of the participants to answer that. What are you best described as? All right, we see a lot of maths teachers here, which is amazing, fun to see. We already have one from Australia that has joined in, or at least an ex-maths teacher. Yeah. Okay, we see some school management and leadership also joining in. Welcome to this session. All of you, please contribute to this poll. Let's make it engaging as possible. There will be a lot of engaging elements in this session. Let's stay hands-on, guys. So I would request every one of you to please answer this question quickly. It's a simple one. What are you best described as? Right? And everybody is different here. So I would request everybody to pick one answer. All right, maths teachers, school, and we see a lot of maths teachers here. Great to see that enthusiasm. All right, school management as well as school administrators, academic coordinators are here. All right, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for sharing who you are. I'll just share the results as well quickly. And all right, so now really let's address the elephant in the room. Okay. Let's be honest to ourselves for a moment. Let's do a quick reality check on how maths is typically taught in most Indian schools today. Memorization does not equal mastery. A child who has rote memorized 7 times 8 is 56 may not actually understand what multiplication means. They might ace the timetables test, but struggle the moment a problem is framed differently. Speed drills don't equal strategy, right? So we have seen countless math programs that focus on answering questions faster. But speed without understanding is like running in circles. What we need is strategic thinking, the ability to actually see patterns, make decisions, and also solve problems creatively. Tests measure outcomes, not thinking really. So you can do a lot of tests and outcomes can be measured, but it does not instill any thinking. Traditional assessments have been telling us whether a child has got the right answer, but they rarely reveal how they got there or where they went wrong. As educators, we are often left guessing. And finally, engagement without insight is not impact, right? Sure, there are plenty of colorful maths applications out there. Kids might enjoy them for a while. But if teachers can see what's happening inside the student's mind, if there is no actionable data, then we are just entertaining, not educating, right? Second. Yeah. So what do Indian schools actually need today? 3 things. Low stress assessment that doesn't terrify the children or add marking load to teacher. Real-time visibility, so teachers and school leaders can actually see what's working and what's not. Scalable classroom solution that actually works across sections, grades, even schools with varying infrastructure, and that's where Number Hive actually comes in. So what is exactly Number Hive? It's not just a game, it's a school-ready math platform. Think of this as chess with numbers. Just like chess teaches strategic thinking through moves and counter moves, Number Hive teaches mathematical fluency through strategic gameplay. Every move a child makes involves mathematical reasoning, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and all critical operations, but wrapped inside an engaging competitive game. And this isn't just untested idea. Number Hive has been already used by over 650,000, 6.5 lakh students across 150 plus countries. Yes, you heard it right, 150 plus countries. And it aligns seamlessly with all Indian curriculums. CBSE, may it be ICSE, may it be state board. The platform actually combines the best of all worlds, digital tools, printable game boards for offline use, and even comprehensive teacher resources, making it adaptable for any school environment. Number Hive was also selected for the prestigious Mind CET Accelerator program, a global hub that identifies and nurtures most promising edtech innovation. And it is endorsed by leading maths educators around the world. But just don't take the word from me. Let me introduce the person who actually created it. For all of you who have just joined in, meet Chris Hogbin, the founder of Number Hive. Chris isn't a Silicon Valley tech entrepreneur. He's a former maths teacher from Australia who has spent years in classroom watching students struggle, not because maths was hard, but because it was taught in a way that didn't connect with them. He started experimenting with a game-based approach in his own classroom, and what actually began as a simple paper-based activity eventually evolved into Number Hive, a digital platform that now is transforming maths education globally. As Chris himself says, as a teacher myself, I know how important it is to make learning joyful. Number Hive isn't just a game, it's a revolution in how we experience maths. So now I'll let Chris Hogbin take over. Over to you, Chris.
Thanks, Darash. Can you see my screen now? You can see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Fantastic. Hello, everybody. I'm Chris, a maths influencer, maths teacher, and founder of Number Hive. I was also the global head of education at Mathletics, and I wonder if you've seen any of these attitudes in your classroom. I'm not a maths person. Maths is irrelevant. Maths is just about rote learning, or maybe just about being fast. It's a problem. We actually have an educational crisis on our hands. Weak mathematical foundations mean that students don't progress. A generation is slipping through the cracks. And I wonder if you felt it with your students, those moments when motivation fades, when disengagement creeps in, or when a student stumbles because those maths foundations never took hold. And as teachers, and it was great to see so many teachers in the group, we're the solution. The question becomes, how do we support our students effectively? How do we ensure they develop the confidence and skills needed for academic success? It's a responsibility we carry with care, and we seek the most reliable tools to enhance our teaching. Unfortunately, there is an effective solution that's solving a problem on a global scale. And Daraj mentioned that we had 150 countries. And that's because teachers have talked to teachers. Teachers know what works. And so this is organic growth we're talking about. So today I'm going to share with you Number Hive. And I could tell you a lot of things that it does. I could tell you the pedagogy, the research behind it. But as maths educators, I think you'd much prefer to just see the game. So let's go in and let's play, and you'll see the magic come to life. So here's the game board. This is Number Hive in its most basic. And what you'll notice is here we're playing with our times tables. So 1 to 12 multiplied by 1 to 12. And out here in the Hive, you have all the possible products that you can make. Now, the goal of Number Hive is to get 4 of my cells in a straight line. Okay, that means diagonal or horizontal. Now, the way I take a cell is by changing one of the factors down the bottom on these number pads. So for example, if I wanted this number 8 here, I could change this side to an 8 or this side to an 8. Let's go ahead and do that. So this cell is now mine, can't be changed. And you'll notice that the opposition, in this case, the AI bot, is playing the exact same game and sharing those factors down the bottom. So he had 1 and 8. He changed the left-hand side to a 4 to take 32. And so it becomes a bit of a game like chess where you're attacking and you're defending and you're using factors, you're using multiples, using those inverse operations as you reason and strategize in order to try and get 4 in a straight line. So let's see where we can go here. I've got a 4 and an 8. I'd like to look around here and I'd say, okay, which of these numbers are divisible by 4 and 8? 4 goes into 44 11 times, I know that, but I'm not as interested in going in this line because he's blocked me just here on that end. 56 looks quite good. Does 8 go into 56? Yes, it does. I know that 7 multiplied by 8 is 56, so I'm attacking in this direction just here. Now this is live, so I'm risking it a little bit. I'm playing on the second hardest level. Okay, he's counter-attacking over here, so I've got to be a little bit careful of this straight. Can you see where he's attacking? So he's looking for a 45 or a 30. I might think about blocking. Can I block? Can I get a 45 or a 30 using a 7 or an 11? I know that 11 doesn't go into 45. 7 doesn't go into 45 either, and both of them don't go into 30. So I'm just going to be careful right there. Perhaps I can counter attack here. I can't get the 3 or the 144 either. So I wonder what I could do. Diraj, do we have any advice from the participants that might be able to help me here? What number should I take? What side should I change here if I would like to attack? He hasn't given me much.
Right, let's ask the audience. Guys,
any suggestions?
Yeah, so let's ask the audience, guys. I think there are a lot of maths teachers, school leaders. They're all fluent with maths. We would love your suggestions, recommendations.
I quite like this 110 here, but that leaves me only 144 for the win, and I'd need a 12 and a 12. So it's not my favorite option. What else could I do? I could take the 44. That's not a bad option. There's a few things that I could do. Do we have any favorites there, Diraj?
I would like to take 110. Yeah.
110. Let's take 110. I know that 10 times 11 is 110. So students are doing thousands of questions, but they're driving their own learning. They're actually loving it. They're not realizing it. And the thinking that's happening inside their brains, as maths teachers, you know, that's the rich thinking we want them to be doing, that wrestling with that inverse operations. What's the question?
I think people have not understood how to play this game. Can you please maybe explain once again?
Yeah, of course. So we're trying to get 4 in a straight line in my color. And so at the moment, he has 3. The opposition has 3 in a straight line. And so I've got to try and block him. So I want to try and take 45 or 4. But I can only change one of the numbers down here. So is there some way I can block by getting a 45 or a 4? Well, I'd need a 9 or a 5 here, or I need a 1, 2, or 4 here, and I don't have any of those. So I can't block him, but what I can make sure I do, though, is I don't leave him any of those numbers available. So there's lots of thinking involved. I quite like this 60 just here, because then I can get a bit of a cluster happening. And so 6 times 10 or 10 times 6 gets me this 60. So you can only change one at a time. He's blocked me pretty quickly just there. And now I'm working with a 10 and an 8. So I've got to have a look around and see what 10 and 8 go into. So if I look around, I know that, well, let's have a look at what happens here. If I wanted to take this 72, 8 times 9 is 72. I can do that, but I've got to think ahead, and he's very clever. If I left a 9 available, he's probably going to take this 45 just here. So let's see if he does that. So 8 times 9 is 72, and now he has a 9 available. Let's see how clever he is, whether he's seen this 40. There it is. And so he's got the 4 in a straight line. And so that's how Number Hive works. I wonder if there's some way if we can ask if another game would be helpful, Diraj, or whether people are feeling like they understand the basic concept at this point.
Is everybody clear on the concept? If not, we can just do a quick repeat of the demo. Is everybody clear?
I'll put it on.
Please let us know in the chat by a yes or no. That's it. Simple. Did you understand the concept of the game? All right.
We'll start with another one very quickly, just to explain it again. 4 in a straight line is what we need in my cells. So the yellow, the opposition is the AI bot. We can play against another human. This is just playing against an AI bot for now, just to demonstrate. It's great because students feel safe playing against a non-human. So maybe we can ask for a little bit of audience help on this one. We're playing on spicy, so it's going to be difficult. I'm going to start with this 4 just here. So 4 times 1. So you can only change 1, remember. Okay, he's gone nice and close with 4 times 4. So now I'm working with a 4. I have to use that 4. So where can I go around here? I'd like to keep going in a straight line. Where can I go using a 4? Well, I know that 4 goes into 8 2 times, so I can change this side to a 2. Okay, and so he's gone up at 18, and now I'm working with a 9 and a 2. So where can I go with a 9 and a 2? So that's how the game works. They're doing thousands of those questions, but there's a real strategy. They're predicting, they're blocking, they're attacking, and it very much becomes like chess with numbers. Now, if we go back a little step, I've come straight into a game. What you'll see is we have all the different operations. So we can go and play that same game as simple as basic addition all the way through to high level algebra to practice those skills to build that fluency. This actually gets quite complicated if you wanted to have a play of this. So just as a very quick demonstration, you'll be able to see what that actually game board looks like. So the same game mechanic applies. Now, the wonderful thing is previously Number Hive stood on its own. It was a game where teachers loved it, students loved it, built that fluency, but we didn't necessarily have it embedded within a journey. What we've got now is we've got this embedded in a learning journey. Let me show you what that looks like. In any of these different skills, students can click on that skill and go through a learning journey. What it means is they take an assessment, then they do a mindset survey. So that's thinking through things like mathematical reasoning, like growth mindset, like confidence, how they're feeling towards maths. Then they go through and play against these characters in a story in the Number Hive game as it gets more and more difficult. They take another assessment. We don't call it assessment, we call it buzz. I'll show you that in just a moment. A little bit more difficulty, another survey, and the final assessment. And that way we can actually measure their fluency all the way through. We can measure that progress, and we have effective assessments, and we have this Number Hive game embedded in a learning journey. Let me very quickly show you what the assessment looks like. It's called Buzz, and we think it's fantastic. Heavily based in research. It looks like this. So let's just do the multiplication 1 to 12. And we won't do timed, I'll just demonstrate with the question. So a typical multiplication assessment will be 6 times 7 is 42. It's linear, it's only in one direction. What we've done is we've built it with a little bit more reasoning involved, but still the ability to assess that student. So here, what we do is we give them the product and we give them one of the factors, and they have to build the correct product by changing one of the factors. So it's using a similar mechanic to Number Hive, and it gets quite engaging. So in this case, I need to change the left-hand side to a 10. And so now I have a 40. What do I do here? Well, it has to be 10 or a 12. 40 divided by 10 is 4. So they're thinking of those inverse relationships as well. So it's like multiplication practice, but it's deeper level because we're giving them product and they're having to come up with the correct question. A lot of students find this nearly as engaging as the game, but here's the real magic. As you work on this, Number Hive's analyzing where you're at. So you can go into your gym stats and you can see how you've gone. You can see heat maps on your progress. Let me show you what a teacher sees. So if I go into the Hive gym is a place where students can go and just work out. They can practice without feeling like they're part of a journey or they're being assessed. A lot of students like to go in there and feel safe and play, but they can have a look at their stats and they can see where they're strong, where they're weak, look at all their statistics on the games that they've played, just to help them see how they're progressing themselves. But as a teacher, this is where it gets wonderful. I'm going to go and take a look at my classes or my hives, and I can see all my students in there. So this is one I've populated previously. And first of all, I can see at a glance, I can see my students, I can see their usernames, their passwords, how much time they've spent, and the nectar points that they've earned. If I want to go and see what they're up to currently, I can click on that eye. I can see where they're up to in their learning journeys, or I can have a look at their gym analytics, which is really, really handy. But here's where the real magic happens. If I go to reports, I can get a report on my class for the skill that I choose, let's say multiplication 1 to 12, and I can see what they all got in that first assessment, the second assessment, the third assessment, their progress. And then I can go across to the mathematical mindset assessment, that survey, and see what they got in the first and the second, and how they're going in those different areas, those social emotional learning, which is so important in every curriculum. You can export this to Excel for your grade books, for your own tracking. And so you can do this across all those different skills. You can even assign different boards and different skills to students, so you can cater for every student and personalize that learning for them. So in terms of playing the actual Number Hive game, you can play a friend, you can send them a code, you can play on the same device, or you can practice against the bot on your own. You can do that at the gym as well, or as embedded as part of that learning journey. For every student, they also have a Nectar Nook, which gives them achievements, it gives them merit badges, it gives them streak badges, and just gives them that tangible reward for what they've actually achieved. Daraz, do we have any questions in the chat that people would like to explore in the actual app anymore? No questions? Fantastic. Well, can you see any questions there if people want clarification on any of the features? It's been a very quick run through, I understand that, but you can go and explore it and watch videos in your own time. I just wanted to give you a taste there. Is there any questions that people have for clarification?
Any questions, guys? No questions.
You can always come back and ask questions. That's absolutely fine with me anyway. So I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope you've seen the magic that actually happens in students' minds. They're doing that thinking, that rich thinking that as maths teachers we want them to be doing. We've just had a quick game. Subscribers to a class hive, we call them hives just with the B theme. Subscribers to a class hive get access to Digital Number Hive for themselves and for 40 students. That's how we work it. They get dashboards, they get that progress tracking, the reporting, and they get the leaderboards as well. But most schools actually go for a school hive, and what that gets is unlimited class hive. So all their teachers and all their students can use it at school or at home. The game mechanic works exactly the same for our printable game boards. This is actually where the game started. And so this is great for tactile, for kinesthetic learning, where you use counters instead. Our digital platform works hand in hand with the physical, and teachers love both of them. They're not working against each other. And so you can see how those work. You can watch some of those clips on the website or on YouTube. But it's exactly the same mechanic, but obviously played on a printable game board. We have about 66 varieties, and I'll talk to you about those in a little bit more in just a moment. You've got all the different operations there. Again, you can have more on the printable game boards because a lot of them haven't been created digitally just yet. We go right into fractions and decimals and percentages a lot more. We go right down to using dice, and we can even go further into some of that really rich maths, as you can see there. And what we're offering with our school hive currently is what we do is we give schools not just access to the digital platform for all their teachers and students, but we give them PDF copies of all these. So I think there's about 65 different varieties. And in each of those varieties, we give a randomized class pack of 20. So that's 65 times 20 for you mathematicians out there, number of PDFs that come with it. And the other fantastic thing is also we give access to our teacher toolkit, which Daraj mentioned earlier. And this is fantastic because we've got posters, we've got curriculum alignment, we've got certificates, we've got resources and lesson plans as well. And so that comes in order to help students, teachers facilitate the best and richest learning for their students. As we've mentioned, Number Hive is solving this big mathematical problem at scale, more than 150 countries, as Diraj mentioned, and students and teachers are benefiting hugely across the board. Unlike traditional methods that rely on rote memorization and can heighten that anxiety, Number Hive offers a refreshing alternative, and it's loved by educators worldwide. So this data we've taken here is from across 5 countries, and it shows that Number Hive is more engaging, better for reasoning and critical thinking skills, and it leads to increased student confidence. In terms of where we see teachers using it, there's 3 main use cases. Firstly, students mastering those foundational facts for the first time. So that's often in classrooms through structured play, round-robin games, or even tournaments. The second is often older students that are rebuilding that fluency, filling those knowledge gaps or learning loss at their own pace. So it's enjoyable and it's stigma-free. It's not like they're going back to grade 4 or grade 5. And we've seen many teachers using it in this way. We see many teachers reporting older students who missed that strong foundation the first time are using Number Hive to fill those gaps, which is just wonderful. And thirdly, families. So parents are very eager to support the learning and often don't quite know how or feel disconnected from their students' classroom. Number Hive bridges that gap, and so families can now enjoy meaningful, positive play around Number Hive, both digital and physical. Many parents say that they'd love to help their students improve in maths, but they don't quite know how. Sometimes they actually do harm to their students' confidence. Parents can now be really involved in a positive way. So that's a very quick overview of Number Hive. I think we have some time for questions afterwards, but what I'll do is I'll pass back to Diraj now. I think I've kept in time, Diraj, unless we have questions from folks.
Absolutely. So we can do the Q&A as well towards the end, for sure. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I think the main thing I would say is just that I think people can still see me. Number Hive's always been engaging. People have seen that as the game. What we've got now is we've got the assessment, we've got the reporting, we've got the mathematical mindset to go with it. So it's the entire offering where teachers can track it with meaningful data and see their students progress with fluency. So it's the best of both worlds.
Absolutely. It's a full package now, Chris. I think you've worked very hard to do that. One of the questions that popped up in the chat was a teacher was asking whether quadratic equations are also there.
There are quadratic equations there. And do you want me to quickly show that? I might be able to show it very quickly. I love quadratic equations. I think I've got, yes, you can see them. They construct them. Let me very quickly share. And so you can see them. You see my screen?
Yes.
So it's working with the distributive property, and you'll see here, it actually takes a lot of thinking because you're working forwards and backwards. So you're actually expanding and then you're factorizing as well. So it actually makes them think through how we actually get these. So I have a lot of fun playing that one with my students, and it definitely gets you thinking. And some of these gradient intercept ones are fantastic for that conceptual understanding as well. Great question.
All right, superb. Thank you so much, Chris, for doing that. I was pretty clear. I would, encourage everyone. Feel free to ask any questions that you have in the chat. Meanwhile, just let me complete the presentation quickly. Before we, dive into how can you get access to this, how can you work with this tool and where is it applicable? Just a quick question. And you guys all saw the platform. Chris showed you how the game works. So we'd love to understand which aspect of what you just saw interests you the most. Is it the digital app for classroom or home use? Is it the printable game boards for offline learning? Is it teacher toolkit and administrative features? Is it the curriculum alignment with Indian standards? Is it the implementation, support, and training? What aspect of what you just saw interests you the most? And I would encourage everyone to answer this question, especially the ones who are able to see this and who are able to understand what Chris was talking about. Please answer this question. I'm pretty sure you would like at least one of the features that you saw. Right? Was it the digital app for the classroom? Was it the printable game boards for offline learning? Was it the teacher toolkit and administrative feature? Was it the curriculum alignment? Was it the implementation support? So we see printable game boards at number 1. Oh, almost equal to digital app. All right, printable game boards is going further. All right, great. Everybody's liking printable game boards. Amazing, amazing. So I'd request everyone to please participate into this. I see that about 40% of you have only responded. So I'd request other 60% people as well. Please, come on. Please share your interest. This is very specific to you. No answer is right or wrong. So we would request everyone to please contribute to this poll. All right, we see some more answers coming in. Printable game boards, of course. Yes, yes. That seems to be winning at the moment. All right, Neha is saying 1 and 2 both. Okay, multiple choice. All right, great. Love that. Okay, perfect. So we end this poll here. I'll share the result. Everybody loves the printable game boards. Chris, for sure. Amazing. All right. All right, so let's keep the momentum going and let's talk about what is special today. Because you have invested your time to be here today, we have an exclusive offer that's only available to the webinar attendees. You can get a School Hive at 50% off. The regular price generally is about 50,000, but for those who are joining in today, it's just for 25,000. And this includes full school access for the digital platform, complete printable game board library, premium teacher toolkit, and there's a catch. This offer is only valid until the 28th of February 2026. After that, the prices go back to normal. So if you're serious about transforming maths in your school, now is the time to act. So let me how exactly you can get started. This is for a year. We are asking for the whole school, guys. Come on. So this is for the whole school for the entire year. All students, all teachers, all administrators, everyone. Right? So simple steps. Step number 1, click on the chat icon button that you see at the bottom of the screen or wherever you have your toolkit on the screen. Once you click on the chat, my colleague would have shared a link in the chat. You just need to click on this link, fill in your details, schedule a personalized 1:1 demo with our team. Once you have gone through the demo, we will answer all of your questions to your needs specifically. Whether you're a single institution, you're managing multiple branches, we'll walk you through implementation, answer all your questions, and help you to get started. So please click on the chat button, look it in the chat. My colleagues have shared the link for you to fill in your details. Let's get that first call started. First 1:1 demo started. Whether you want to introduce Number Hive to your administration, to your maths HOD, or you are the maths HOD and you want to evaluate the platform even further, closer in terms of alignment, in terms of operations, is everything covered? Want to make sure all of your journey starts with this 1:1 demo. So please fill in this form. It's a simple form that is only going to ask you simple details. Please feel free to fill in those, and somebody from our team will get in touch with you, schedule that demo session with you, and we'll take it forward from there. All right. Or you can just scan this code. Right? If you are not comfortable clicking on the link and going to a different web URL, this is the QR code. All you can do is scan this code take a screenshot of this code, scan this code, fill in the form, and we'll go forward. Before we wrap up and go to the Q&A section, let me leave you with this thought. Every child deserves to feel confident with numbers. Every student deserves to experience maths not as a subject to survive, but as a skill to master. And every teacher deserves the tools that make their jobs easier, not harder. So Number Hive isn't just about replacing what you do. It's about how can we enhance it. It's about enhancing it. It's about giving you visibility into student thinking that you have never had before. It's about making maths something students want to do. And it's not me who's saying that. I mean, research shows that 88% of students report enjoying maths when they're using Number Hive. And 91% said they'd be more willing to do homework if it was involving playing Number Hive. That's the kind of transformation we are talking about. And thank you so much for being here today, and thank you for the commitment to making maths better for your students. And definitely a big thanks to Chris for sharing your incredible platform with us. We'll now open up the floor for any questions. Please feel free to type them in the chat, or even you can unmute yourself starting now. Yes, Chris.
No, I was just going to say thank you to everyone. It's wonderful. I'm thrilled to be able to give Indian students the same opportunity that some of the great schools in the US, Australia, and the UK have. So it's a privilege.
All right, so feel free, guys, to shoot any questions that you have. You want to see any other aspect of the platform, anything that you couldn't catch on, we need an explanation. We are happy to do that now. So you can unmute yourself, you can put your question in the chat, and we'll take it up. Right, Chris. And when we were talking about how teachers are using Number Hive innovatively in the classrooms, and some of the classroom examples that you shared with me, I remember one vivid example where the teacher actually created 2 sections in the classroom, and he or she got them to compete with each other, right, on this game, and it sort of changed the dynamics. So there are more than one ways to use this in the classroom to create engagement and improve fluency, right? And that to different age groups. So yeah, I mean, feel free to share any such examples that you have of creative usage of Number Hive.
Oh, it's wonderful because our teachers are our greatest resource, because they tell us how to improve it, how to use it. And I believe we're the only maths program that teachers use in the classroom and then go and play in the staff room as well.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I got hooked on Number Hive, and the beauty is that in the offline game, it's amazing because I can play with my kids, get their brains starting to think strategically rather than just thinking about operations. And you have to be always one step ahead, just like in chess. You have to be always one step ahead of your opponent. So it's both strategy, operations. Operations is like embedded within it. But I also love the fact that I can go online and start playing with anybody around the world at any point of time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely magic.
It is, yeah. Guys, any questions that you have in terms of, okay, how can you use it in your classroom? Maybe you're thinking, oh, I cannot use this in my classroom at all. We would love to hear feedback as well. And we would like to also hear any questions that you have. So you can put it in the chat, unmute yourself. We are here. I think nobody has any questions. Chris, I think you're a great teacher.
Well, I don't know if that's the case.
Yeah.
I know it's been a good lesson if my students are talking about it after the lesson. So that'll be the judge.
Absolutely. And especially I find it very useful for the kids that are actually looking to, compete in competitive exam. Right. That is also one thing. And especially, long term using this game could really enable them to
Yeah,
get things.
it definitely does. It quickens recall, but actually the understanding of the number facts, not just being able to recite them. And so it's great because for competitive students, they can go as hard as they want. But for students that have maths anxiety, they can practice against a computer where there's no fear, and when they build the confidence, they can practice against another person. There's never the time pressure if they don't want there to be. So that's one of the real things we wanted to keep there. Time test is one of the things that many people trace their maths anxiety back to. So we want to try and take that pressure off and help students see that they can be a maths person.
Absolutely. And the game boards actually are fun because you can literally visualize them, right? They're there in front of you, and you can get students to engage with them, right?
Yeah. And yeah, you can play different. There's a maze there. You can play 3-player. Yeah, we have a lot of fun. There's lots of different things, and new teachers coming up with new challenges every day. So it's wonderful to see it have a sort of organic journey of its own.
Absolutely. Any question, guys? Well, it seems like there are no questions, and yeah. Any aspect that you guys want us to explain about the game, you would like to understand better about the game, we'll be happy to answer. As you saw, it straight up starts with simple addition, subtraction, and it even covers geometry to a large extent. All right, perfect. Then I think, Chris, we'll have to end this here. Okay, any cheaper plan for maths teacher who has 5 to 10 students? Yes, of course, Indu. Right, we do have plans that you can use for classrooms also. So if there is a class hive as well. So in the school hive, there's a class hive, there's a family hive. So there are a lot of options. I would encourage you to fill in the form, speak to our representative, and they will be happy to do a demonstration as well as explain how that works. All right. Any other questions, anyone? Please feel free to share. You can unmute yourself. And also remember, guys, the offer, the 50% discount is available until the 28th of February. So don't miss this opportunity to bring Number Hive to your school for an entire year at 50% of the cost. Let's make maths click for every child, right? Let's do that. Yeah. All right, perfect. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful evening, and thank you for joining in, sparing time. Is your personal time. I know it's been a long, hectic day, and you have removed time from your personal family time, so we appreciate it. Hopefully, we have made it as useful as you thought it would be, and we'd be very happy to receive any feedback, any comments that you have on our email addresses. Please do share that with us. And any questions, queries that you want to get us to answer, fill in the form, speak to our representative, and they'll be very happy to answer any questions. If you want a demonstration done for your management, we'd be happy to do those. Thank you so much. Have a great evening. Take care. Bye-bye. Chris will join in again. Same link.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.